my buttons! Not my gumdrop buttons!
Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is our 93? Episode 93. I had the notes wrong. It's our 93.
Honestly, anything over 10, I don't know, because I don't have that many fingers.
But you do have toes, man. Use those.
But I'm wearing shoes, so I'd have to take them off, and the socks, and it's just...
Yeah. I'm your host, the mayor himself, Jeff.
But I don't have a shirt on, so that's something.
How are you gonna count? Were you gonna count like your chest hairs?
Yeah, like I've got I got 2 nipples, so that's 2 extra right there, so I can go to 12.
If you have an Audi, not the car, but a belly button, that's a third one. All right, let's go around and meet the fellow bros before we get started. The person you've been hearing talk about counting on his nipples is the mad scientist Brian Boehner. And as we head into the lab, Boehner, I have to ask, is there any special concoction you have post-Halloween to get your blood sugar levels down to normal human standards after eating excessive amounts of candy?
Yeah, it's actually pretty similar to my Bro 4 Squad hangover cure. 3 Bear aspirins, black coffee, a little bit of lighter fluid, and some allspice.
I think your Bro 4 Squad hangover cure was just IPA breakfast, though.
Well, no, that's one. The other one is 3 crackers, a Tylenol cold and sinus, and you chug a black coffee.
Oh, okay. I can't chug coffee, though. That's actually, sadly, the only part of all of that I don't think I could do.
If you're hungover enough, you can do it. Trust me.
Is it hot coffee?
Hot, cold, doesn't matter. If you like a nice little cold nitro brew, go for it.
All right, speaking of Nitro, Monday Nitro, big fan coming up. We go into the paint to our enforcer, Matt Geiger. Now, Matt, I'll just come out and ask it. Was Jordan's move at the end of the game against the Monstars in Space Jam legal?
It was as legal as, let me see if I can just come up with something right off the top of my head. I just thought of this. It's as legal as you getting a bookie and losing a bunch of bets, so you owe the bookie money, but you basically say, fuck the bookie, and then the bookie kills your dad, and there's so much bad publicity, you have to go to another job.
Got it.
Sport.
Okay. Actually,
also, never bring that story up around your wives, me and Jeff learned. Because there's a rabbit hole that people will go down on that.
Funny thing about you bringing that up, where the story you just told ends is almost the opening scene to Space Jam with his press conference.
Yeah. I would like to see the Space Jam prequel. It'd be like rated R. It'd be like a Joker movie almost.
And there's not a fucking Looney Tune in sight. It's just his dad getting killed for his gambling debts.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all,
somehow
folks.
Bill Murray still shows up.
Executive producer Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, Bill Murray would do. Actually, you know who would do that now is like fucking who's the other actor?
Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
Wayne Knight would be like, can you de-age me? They're like, we're not spending a fucking cent to de-age you, Wayne Knight.
He is in like every fucking movie in like the mid 90s.
He's in Dirty Dancing. Check out our movie commentary.
He's in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, he's like the annoying like camp organizer.
He plays the exact same role he's ever played.
Yeah, he plays the same role in Jurassic Park too.
Oh yeah.
Or Jurassic Park also. Not
Speaking of Jurassic Park, it might get mentioned later in the episode. And that brings us to the way we start every show, although with a bit of a twist today. We begin every episode with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is chest day. But today, we're actually doing possibly our first ever leg day. So scratch chest day, we're going to do leg day. In fact, I don't even know the fucking workouts. Do we need dumbbells or a yoga mat? Like, what do we do for
what are legs?
Day? What are the leg machines here?
I might need a GPS and a Native American guy to just lead me to the leg machine, because I don't even know if I know where the fuck it is in the gym.
Leg machine might as well be in the fucking parking lot, because that's where I'm headed. Actually, let me do some dumbbell curls first, and then I'm going to head out.
Blood pumping in my arms.
So, yeah, for the drive home. So our chest day is usually something in the news or a ranking of some sort that we want to discuss involving movies or TV. But today, we're actually all a little pissed off for various reasons, and we need to take turns ranting about movies and TV. Plus, we're drunk. So we haven't done one of these in a while where we just kind of go round robin and each talk about something we want to talk about. So Banner, I'll let you go first for our quote unquote leg day segment today. What's on your mind, or what do you need to talk about?
All right. So, as you guys know, I was not on the original Office bandwagon. I didn't watch it until about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I watched the entire thing. I watched the entire series in 22 days, which I don't know if you guys know, but that's like 175 episodes of The Office.
Actually, for you, that I'm not that impressed.
Yeah, you must have had a pretty busy week doing other stuff.
Yeah, it was tough.
You must have been in a coma for like 11 days, is what took you so long.
I was out of the country, doing out of the country stuff. So with that being said, the reason that I watched it was because all the holiday episodes started coming on, and those are all fantastic from The Office. But Pam and Jim are the worst couple in TV history. They set the worst example for their kids and our kids and pretty much just the world in general. They're terrible people.
All right, elaborate.
I agree with you. There's sometimes that I think they're written very well. I blame the writing. Whenever they're about to get married, I think it's written very well. And whenever she's pregnant and she doesn't want to go to the hospital until midnight, so they don't have to pay for one night because of insurance. But the whole her and Roy thing makes Pam look really bad. And then the whole Jim letting her go to art school, but she won't let Jim go wherever for that job looks really bad.
Really?
And are we going to bring up the Reddit page where Pam is basically the villain in this whole thing? Because there's a huge Reddit page about that, which actually I think a lot
what's
of
that theory?
Just that Pam is a terrible person, and she's basically, if there is a villain in The Office, she would be it, because she basically cheated on Roy.
Karen.
Yeah, she cheated on her hard-working fiance, who's just trying to give her the best life that she deserves, and she cheats on him.
Did she actually cheat on him though?
Yeah, she made out with Jim while she was engaged to him. I'm pretty sure.
It was like the last. It was the last.
I thought
episode
she just
of the first
told her that he loved her and nothing
and
else.
And then they made out.
No, they made out in the office when it was dark because they had some. Maybe it was that casino night or something. I can't remember. But it was like the end of season 2 or 3. I do remember that.
Yeah, and to Jim, nonetheless, who is not a very productive person, and he makes all his coworkers even less productive. Not to mention, he creates a hostile work environment for arguably the best worker in the entire office, Dwight.
Yeah. I'll say this. This isn't necessarily in defense of Jim in that regard, but Dwight is more productive when he's fired up, and Jim does that to him. Now, having worked in sales...
That's not Jim's job. He's not the manager.
It's not his job.
He doesn't need to be motivating people.
Is Dwight's manager motivating people?
Yeah, I think he is.
Well, then you haven't watched the same Office I have. Because that's literally the point, is that Michael Scott sucks as a boss.
Well, the other thing about Jim in the later seasons is he was just basically the class clown, and then when he was co-manager, he's like, okay, now everyone needs to pay attention and get to work and do. But I'm like, all right, dude. He's like, well, I grew up. I'm like, yeah, but when you were in sales, you were nowhere like that. He's just like any other manager that, like me and Jeff used to be in sales. Once you're in a manager, you totally forget what it was like being in sales.
Yeah, and Geiger and I have worked with a guy who was not as cool as Jim, but did that exact same shit. And I can tell you this. The amount of quote-unquote work you see Jim do in the show The Office, there's no way he would not be fired from a sales job, even at Dunder Mifflin. It makes no sense.
Banner, I'll give you another thing that after I've rewatched The Office, it's kind of my show I watch while I eat, because I like to just watch a show that I know I'll like while I eat. A little bit of Andy Bernard goes a long way for me. After a while, I get really tired of his fucking
But in
acting.
small doses, he's great.
In small doses, he's great. Once he's introduced, he's fine. But then after the him and Angela thing was over, which I thought was a cool dynamic, like him just trying to chase Aaron all the time. And Aaron drives me up a fucking wall, too. I hate her character.
Well, dude, later, I actually I hadn't watched the last season and a half of The Office just because I was not interested when Michael Scott left. Finally went back and finished it. It's pretty bad, but the decisions they make with Andy are horrible.
Absolutely
he's the
terrible.
boss, right?
Yeah, and what ends up happening with him is just like an abomination.
I don't even watch it. It's kind of like Mad Men. I love the show. It's one of my favorite shows, but right about the last season, I'm like, okay, this is where I get off this ride. I'm just not going to watch it anymore.
Have you seen the finale though?
Yeah.
The finale's good, I think.
Yeah.
I wish
That
Michael was.
was a good one, Banner. Because
So going back, also, I'm not done yet. I've got more. Okay.
Sorry.
They get, because obviously they're a couple, so it's not just Jim's a bad person or Pam's a bad person. They're both bad people. They get pregnant out of wedlock before they're married, and I think we can all agree on this pod that that's not okay to have
Take
sex.
off the white wig.
Okay.
The gavel down.
Also, their wedding, they just leave everybody at the fucking church. That's rude. It's a destination wedding.
That's fucked up. That's pretty
people
fucked up.
left their homes, the comfort of their couch, to go to your wedding in Guadalupe. Who the hell cares? And you just leave them, and you don't even get married in front of them. Again, very, very rude. Side note, though, absolutely fantastically done episode, writing wise.
Fucking
the wedding in Niagara Falls episode.
Yeah. It was
and
beautiful.
When they all walk down the aisle, that's like an iconic scene.
It's an iconic scene. But that doesn't change the fact that they're assholes.
How funny is it though, Michael getting so mad? Is it Pam's dad who claims he can't walk? No, that's at Phyllis's wedding.
That's Phyllis's wedding.
That's Phyllis's wedding.
Oh, he can walk all of a sudden. He's like, what the fuck, dude, relax.
Michael gets pissed.
And he can like get up and walk, or like he like finds the strength to walk Phyllis down the aisle, and everyone's clapping, and Michael's like, oh god.
I'll go ahead and say it. The Office is our generation's Cheers. How our parents remembered every episode of Cheers. And also, the reason it's Cheers, too, is because in the later seasons, like 4 and 5, they introduced new characters that are just as beloved as the old characters, like when they introduced Woody and Chrissy Alley and all those. It's a very well-done show. And just like Cheers, it went on for so long. And you could argue that like season 6 when Saber takes him over is just as funny as season 2. Like a lot of those. Kathy Bates is awesome in that show.
Yeah, I just what's the fucking HR guy with Saber that comes in? I hate that. Gabe.
The guy from Silicon Valley.
Ugh, yeah. He's horrible.
What's hilarious? Okay, so what's funny about him to me is that he's the exact same character on Silicon Valley, but it works in that show, and it does not work in The Office.
Yeah, he's great in Silicon Valley.
And I might be one of the few people that actually like Robert California on the show.
He's fine.
He's just so ridiculous. I mean, I get why people don't like him, but to me, he's funny.
So that's what is pissing me off right now.
That's great, man.
Jim and Pam are the worst TV couple in the history of couples ever, and I think that they're part of the problem.
I think a lot of people agree with that, actually.
Yeah, you're not that far off base. Just to clarify, are you on a second or third watch of the show right now?
Yes.
And so this is something you didn't think the first time, but
I definitely thought it the first time.
Really?
See,
I think the first time...
here's the thing. I guess this is... I was skewed, though, because I didn't watch it when everybody else watched it, and as it came out, I binged the whole thing later. Is everybody's like, oh, Jim and Pam this, Jim and Pam this. They're great. They're great. They're them falling in love, their courtship, them having the kids, blah, 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 is great. So I was looking for that great, and I didn't get it. I'm
surprised you liked the show if you didn't like Jim and Pam, because that storyline, once they get together, that's when everyone says the show kind of jumps the shark. Now, Pam getting pregnant, like they managed to kind of keep fans interested a little while longer, but after that, that's when a lot of people say the show starts to go downhill.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But if you think about it, like after they get married and Pam gets pregnant, like Michael's really only there, like unless you're really invested in Michael and Holly, which I like, but a lot of people weren't that into, then there's really only like one other season of The Office. Like unless you're counting the last two, which are like.
All I know is he had Amy Adams right there, and he didn't want her. It's weird.
And Rashida Jones. I mean, my God. And you end up with Jenna Fisher. I mean, no disrespect to her, but disrespect to her, you know?
I don't know, man. She's pretty hot in Blades of Glory.
I guess. She's a very pretty girl. But like you said, you had Amy Adams on the booze cruise. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Man, that's a good one. I think a lot of people might agree with you. But let me ask you
I'm
this.
a man of the people.
I want both your guys' opinions. Can you not like Jim and Pam and still love The Office?
I think so. I think that
Absolutely,
I think you
there's
can
so
not
much
like
other
them.
dynamic.
regardless of what the storyline is that they're bad people or whatever, it's still very well written, and all the stuff in between the bad stuff is great. Like their whole courtship is absolutely fantastic, I think anyway.
Can I say pound for pound, one of the funnier characters on the show? Like, if you just go look at the percentage of things he says to times you laughed, Creed.
Yep.
I mean, he's not on it much, but every time he fucking talks, it's pretty. You're paying too much for worms. Who's your worm guy? That's a great fucking line. All right, great one, Banner. Geiger, to you, what's pissing you off these days? I think I know, and I think I'm gonna fucking agree with you as well.
Movie marketing, and specifically when movies fucking come out. So, case in point, I'll give you a good example. Summer's ending, you're about to go to school, but what is the one thing that's holding on to summer? A kick-ass fucking movie that's going to come out the week before school or the week of school. And that was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this year. You're like, okay, the summer movie the 3 months is winding down. I've already seen my superhero movies. There's one more movie about to come out, and it's Tarantino and fucking DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. A Star Wars movie, whenever you're doing your Christmas shopping, you're like, I'm going to Christmas shop all day, then I'm going to start drinking beers, and then me and my family are going to go see the Star Wars movie. Perfect marketing. Bad marketing. An Aquaman movie that comes out in fucking December. You should go to the pool, drink some beer, or if you're a kid, like, go to the pool, flirt with that chick that, you know, you've been texting or whatever the fuck kids
that you have
do
no
nowadays.
chance with.
Yeah, you have no fucking chance with, and invite her to a fucking summer blockbuster that is taking place under fucking water. You're never in water in December. I don't care where the fuck you live. We live down south and we're not by the pool in fucking December. Another terrible marketing thing. And Aquaman 2 is coming out in December 2022. Why in December, dude? That's a perfect June, July movie. And DC hasn't even came out with a summer movie for a while now. And
Marvel
Wonder
doesn't even
Woman,
have like
the last
a
one?
Marvel doesn't even have like a huge movie that summer yet. Like, there's not even like an
Right.
Avengers coming out.
The one thing that I think is a really hidden gem for movie marketing, and that is September, early October, because for Halloween, especially when you're getting kind of around 28 to 34, you might have kids, or you might just be kind of to the point where, like, man, I don't really want to dress up anymore. So you want to go see a fucking good scary movie in theaters because you're taking your kid trick-or-treating on the 31st. The weekend before, you can take them to grandma's house and you and your wife can go out to a nice scary movie and drinks and whatever. So why the fuck is next Saw coming out in July, and why the hell is the next Halloween coming out in like June or July? These are September movies. Put them in like September 15th and you're going to get a boost. Like, what movie can say, oh yeah, we had a higher week 4 weeks after it released than a Halloween movie that you put out like mid-September?
Dude, so I'm gonna text Cycly this right now because I don't think so we have seen every Saw movie in theaters together except for the first one. And they all come out around Halloween. And this reboot, we were very intrigued by. We were gonna go see it in theaters. It coming out in June makes no goddamn sense. And the only defense, this isn't even a defense, this is like maybe why a studio does it, is studios say, all right, if we're spending money on these things, they need to make a big return. People go see more movies in the summer. But we have seen, if you put a movie out at the right time, that's way more important than it just being in the summer.
Yeah. Because people are still looking at going to movies in September or October. I mean, I would even say more so kind of where we live, just because the weather's kind of changing and stuff, and people are going out more because it's cooler. And I'll say one of the perfect movie marketings of all time, and you might disagree that these are good movies, which I might agree with you on one of them, but it was DC summer of, I believe, 2016. They had Batman vs. Superman coming out in March, then they had Suicide Squad coming out in August. So they kicked off the movie season, the superhero movie season, and they ended it. That's perfect movie marketing right there.
Yeah.
Having superhero movies in December, I just don't get. Save that for Star Wars. Star Wars has that booked. That's fine. That's why I think Solo did so bad when they put it out in May. Star Wars time is for
Solo
December.
was the best movie that they put out in like the last 6 months.
That's true, but it didn't do very well in the box office. I think it would have done a lot better if it was in December. November is basically your Oscar movies that you think will get some Oscar love come February. September, October, Halloween movies. And then all before that, up to like May, is all your superhero movies, big summer blockbuster movies. And January, February is kind of meant for
It's a dumping
really a lot of
ground,
stuff.
really.
Like Deadpool kind of shine there. Split shine there. Get Out was in there. But you got to market your movie in the right month, man, because, people are in a certain mood. Like right now, it wouldn't be crazy to drop a Christmas movie in a couple weeks.
Shit, TV's doing it. Go on Netflix right now. It's all Christmas shit.
I just don't get. Sometimes they have the movie
Christmas
done.
with the Cranks is on there. Gonna watch that.
They'll set on a movie for like a year and a half or something. I mean, put it in the right month when people are excited or want to go see your type of movie. I just don't understand it. Having a movie underwater with a superhero in December and then having scary movies in July when the last thing is on your mind in July
Makes no sense.
is fucking Halloween.
All right, so this is gonna spark a fresh wound open or something like that. I don't know. Jeff, what month would you say Iron Man 3 needs to come out in? Because it's a Christmas movie. It happens at Christmas time.
Yeah, it should come out in October because it's fucking dog shit and should not be seen by anyone.
Well, it's not that bad, but okay.
Or how about we do this? How about we say it's coming out in 1 month and then as a nice little twist, just fucking release it in a different month? Wouldn't that be so clever and smart? Because we don't want to be racist.
When do you think
something?
the new Ultron movie should come out?
Jesus Christ.
In the future?
Actually, Banner, I don't know if you've seen the Avengers VR game. The villain is like a revived Ultron.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't think you know what the word revived means because you wouldn't be claiming
I
it.
wish I could actually tell people what. Do you remember what commentary that fight happened on?
Let's think of a commentary that could not have less to do with Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, because if people are listening, they're like, "What the fuck?" I've never
Probably
heard of this
like The
fight before.
Departed or something. I don't know.
It was one of the
Well,
early
it wasn't The
ones.
Departed. I can't remember.
It was one of the early
We haven't
ones.
even done Age of Ultron. It might have
Honestly,
been Endgame.
no, it was well before that. It might have been on the Civil War commentary.
I don't know. I've tried
Who
to.
who could ever know? I don't know.
We need our intern to figure this shit out.
Yeah,
for
where
us.
is he or she?
Remember, we're not allowed a girl.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it should
Where
be
is
me,
he?
Just so we. I mean,
Should
we
probably
all
just be.
saw it happen to Weinstein.
Cycly's like, it needs to be a he. Just. No,
All right, Jeff, what's really grinding your gears?
Oh, I like that. Right?
Oh, there we go.
That's still a Family Guy reference. All right, so I've talked about this before on the pod, and this really bothered me, but there was another fucking edition of this that just happened, and it bombed in theaters this past weekend, and so now I know I'm right. The general movie-going public is agreeing with me. And this is movie sequels, or basically like soft reboots, that ignore one or multiple entries in a franchise. Now, I have 3 big-time examples of this. The first one is Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom that not only ignore but exclude Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 3 from the canon. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Other than Jurassic Park 2 is actually called The Lost World Jurassic Park, but not to be nitpicky or anything.
Right.
Books.
There's 2 books. Yeah, there's Jurassic Park and The Lost World. Those are the 2 books. They're fantastic. You should read them.
The more you
All
know.
right. The next one is Halloween, the 2018 sequel to the original Halloween, which having the same name and being a sequel is confusing enough. I'll actually talk about this in Protein Shake because I just watched it this past week, and I actually like it a lot. But I'm going to get into why this pisses me off. This number is insane, though, and this is where someone needs to fucking step in. I had to look this up. So, Halloween, the 2018 movie, it ignores 9 fucking sequels.
That is insane.
There are 9 movies in the canon of Halloween that it disregards. I mean, that is... We cannot allow this.
Well, here, what they're doing is admitting that they made 9 shitty movies that they shouldn't have made.
They haven't. There's a lot of Halloween movies that were actually really fucking
That's
good.
true,
There's
actually.
9 sequels, dude.
The second
and it
one's
cuts
good.
out.
The second one's good.
Guy who
Halloween
loves
H2O is a
H2O.
very good movie.
All right,
I feel like we have to do a commentary on that eventually because you're in love with that.
I love that movie. It's a
Is
great
that
movie.
the movie where
Great
LL
story.
Cool J says "trick or treat, motherfucker"?
No, Buster Rhymes says "trick or treat, motherfucker" to Michael Myers, and Michael Myers' resurrection. Whenever he's cut into pieces and burned alive, somehow they resurrect his body.
Yeah. Like, how do you ignore that in canon? And then the last one, and I mean, again, I'm gonna get to my point here in a second, but Terminator: Dark Fate came out this past weekend.
Yeah.
Did horribly. It ignores Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, and Terminator Genesis, or as people who hate the film call it, Terminator Jenny Smith. So it ignores all three of those. And here's my main point here, okay? I actually liked the Halloween 2018 version. I liked Jurassic World. I am the only one on the pod hasn't seen Fallen Kingdom. But here's the problem, man. What is the incentive for any filmmaker to make a good sequel now? Because if it's not good or it's looked back upon negatively, well, just fucking write it out. Like, you can't do this. And John Campea once had a quote, and I'm not a big John Campea fan, but he said this about the prequels. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, they're basically like that uncle you have who's been like divorced 3 times and he's an alcoholic. Like, yeah, you're fucking embarrassed of him, but you still invite him over for Thanksgiving because he's your family. Like, that's what the prequels are. And yeah, if you make a movie in canon and it fucking sucks, I'm sorry, either find a way to retcon stuff or like address other things in canon that don't have to do with it. You can't do this. And Halloween, it's really sad that they had to ignore 9 goddamn movies in order to make a quality sequel. Like, at that point, we just need to say, let's get a new franchise, because that's absurd.
What's even crazier is that is now getting another movie. So
Yeah.
now
Next
we're
June,
gonna have
of course.
June.
Jesus Christ.
And it's all connected. It's one universe, Geiger and mine's.
Put on your sunscreen and
Yeah.
go watch Halloween.
Halloween. What?
Okay, going back to yours, guy. I got a question. What about a Christmas movie coming out in July for Christmas in July?
No.
No.
Okay.
Because Christmas in July, no one celebrates that.
Yeah,
I've never
If
seen
I-
a bar celebrate it. I've never seen. I've never gone into like a grocery store and they have Christmas shit up in July. I've never seen that.
If I go around my neighborhood in July and someone has Christmas lights up, you know where I'm going next? To fucking the grocery store to get eggs and come back and throw them at that house.
Okay, Jeff, I'll ask you this: would you rather do what Halloween did and basically just be like, "Hey, these movies suck, so just they're not going to work. It's just this one," or what X-Men did and basically just not tell anyone and just recast people or just say basically that didn't happen?
Damn, that's a great question. So, X-Men, in a weird way, I kind of more respect because
Really?
they didn't
Okay.
keep them as canon, but they were just like, we don't even know what the fuck to do here. So this stuff counts, and we're just gonna ignore the other. They at least didn't like shy away from it. Like Days of Future Past, I actually really like. It's a clusterfuck in canon, but as one movie, it's great. Fucks up everything else. But like Halloween ignoring 9 movies, I don't know. I just feel like you can't run from that shit, dude. Like it happened.
No,
And can't be
I'm more
like-
saying like they're coming out before you see the movie and just telling you this doesn't count anymore. Where X-Men sometimes just wouldn't even answer the question, and that would piss me off because you're insulting my intelligence. Like there's 3 strikers in this universe. It makes no fucking sense.
That's true. Although, this is not necessarily in Fox's defense, because I think it's almost a bigger criticism of them. I think that Fox's leadership probably didn't know any of the timeline stuff that you had issues with. If you were like, well, this happened in X-Men 3, there's probably a guy at Fox like, oh, fuck, it did? You're like, yeah, that's literally the last scene. Like, well, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, you made the movie. Hey, we didn't know. What do you want me to say?
How the fuck would you go? You guys know I'm a big X-Men supporter here, but how would they go that far in the process and not know that? And somebody making the movie wouldn't say something. Like even the fucking bagel guy should speak up.
The bagel guy's probably dropping the shit off, and he's like, "Oh, Jean Grey's here." I'm like, yeah, like, well, she died the last one. I'm like, what? She did? Yeah,
Like you guys doing a prequel or something? No, actually, it's
No.
10 years after the last one.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's 42.50 for the bagels.
At first, I didn't have a problem with it because I'm like, okay, cool. These movies do suck, and it's kind of the only way to reboot kind of a franchise that died 10 years ago. But like we said in Hollywood, it's a copycat organization. I don't want to, the next 10 movies out, I don't want 8 of them to be fucking sequels. And then you're like, oh, by the way, don't watch this movie, this movie, this movie, and this movie doesn't count. But these two do. So watch these two before you go see it. It's just confusing.
And can we agree? So, like the Halloween, I knew there was several Halloween sequels that didn't count, especially the second one by John Carpenter, which I actually like and think they could have kept canon in the new one,
Yeah,
which I'll get to in Protein Shake. But ignoring 9 sequels, that's a huge slap in the face to fans. Like that's absurd.
So do you think in 30 years we're gonna get another hard reboot or soft reboot like that, where only the first one from 78 counts, and then they make a new one, and what would that be, 2050?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, there's no accountability. They don't have to make good movies because if they suck, they can just ignore them. Like they're not held responsible at all. It's not like J.J. Abrams.
Do that in life. Like every time I fuck up at my job, I'm like, hey, that's not canon anymore.
That report not canon in my performance review. Don't you wish J.J. Abrams probably like, fuck, I wish I could just do that.
Okay, this is a better question. If Star Wars just came out right now, it's like, hey, we're going to do 2 more movies and Last Jedi is not canon anymore, would we be pissed?
No.
I don't even think I'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
Dude, what if they called the next one Episode 8 and just said, fuck you, Rian Johnson? That would be awesome.
I would be fine with it.
I guarantee you Mark Hamill would be cool to come back and just totally redo a movie. Because he hated that movie too. God damn it.
It would just be hard because you don't have Carrie Fisher anymore.
That's
true. So
yeah, but they can just bring her back to life.
Yeah,
yeah,
James
Dean's doing.
A little tease to our Twitter question.
God damn it. That's great. Banner does a perfect job of connecting it all. See, we should be working for these studios. We had way more continuity this one episode than Fox has ever had between 2 X-Men films.
Everything you ever hear on the Broforce Squad is canon.
The first 3 were fine.
Except for Alex English. We just act like he never existed.
Yeah, he's going to listen.
Everything else is canon.
He's going to listen to this maybe, and then you're fucked, man.
I'm joking.
All right. Moving on to our protein shake, where we go around and talk about what is in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. Now, just to get a gauge, because we do 0 prep work before we do this, how many things have each of you guys watched? Banner, you go first, before we figure out who gets to go.
3.5.
Okay, Geiger, how about you?
I've just watched like one thing. I didn't watch shit this week.
Yeah, I've only watched 2. So, Geiger, why don't you go first?
Okay, well, I've been just sucking this thing's dick for a while now. But I want to challenge everyone listening. If you were a fan of wrestling from 97 to 99 and you watched Nitro and Raw, like back and forth, or if you're just a fan of one, I challenge you to, on TNT on Wednesday nights, go watch AEW wrestling. Because it is not, I know a lot of people will go back and watch Raw sometimes on Monday night. They're like, this is stupid. It's rated G. It's all kiddie. I just really don't like it. AEW, they cuss. It's really testosterone filled on some of the promos. And then some of the other ones, you will literally laugh out loud, which I haven't done in wrestling since like maybe a Dwayne The Rock Johnson promo or sometimes Stone Cold's promos I thought were really fucking funny. But the wrestling in it is something like I've never seen before. It's very acrobatic. It's not, your old steroided out people that can't really move in the ring and stuff. But I challenge you, it's an easy show to watch too. It's from 7 to 9. That's how Raw used to be. Raw now is from fucking 7 to 10. And by about 9:30, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm not going to fucking watch the main event. But the way they set up matches, the talent they get from all over the world, it's very, very fucking good. And just to tie it in, so from Nitro to Raw, JR, Jim Ross, and Tony Schiavone from Monday Night Nitro are the announcers. So once you...
I thought they had like exclusive contracts, especially JR.
Well, he did, and then he had another stroke, so WWE just kind of put him on the sideline, so then he got out of his contract and worked. But it's really cool, like, once you listen to it, you hear a familiar face, and check it out, man. If it's coming to your town, tickets are really cheap. It's coming to Dallas December 11th. I'm probably going to go. Tickets are really cheap.
What day of the week is that?
What's that?
What day of the week is that?
Oh, Wednesday. Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Damn it.
Um, and also, I mean, they're really cheap and they're playing like relatively small arenas, so there's not really a bad seat in the house. But I challenge you guys. I mean, I challenge both of you two to like watch a fucking episode. This one's probably the best one because they got a pay-per-view this week. But the one after the pay-per-views are really pretty good too. Their only problem is with their pay-per-views, it's old school, so you got to pay $50. They don't have a network like WWE where you can pay $9.99, get all their content that's ever been made and every pay-per-view.
That's a tough pill to swallow, $50. But I will try. I will give the TNT one a shot.
Yeah, I'll watch it on TNT. I'll give it a shot. When we were all together last time, we watched that pay-per-view of it. That was
Yeah,
that
I bought it.
same
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and that was good. So I'll definitely give it a shot.
You get out the tables, ladders, and chairs, and you have my attention. Like I've always
That's
said that.
another thing, man. Tag team wrestling has just been lost. Like when we were kids, we had Steiner Brothers, Legion of Doom, Bushwhackers, but this tag team division in this is deep, very talented. They have very good personalities. They're very well marketed, all the teams and stuff. I'm very excited. Every single Wednesday, it's like back when I was a kid. Like I look forward to Wednesdays to watch wrestling.
That's good, man. As knowing how big a wrestling fan you are, that brings me joy.
Absolutely.
All right, Banner, how about you? What have you watched lately? What's in
All
your
right.
cup?
So Ballers, the 5th and final season. Watched that. Did I say this last week?
Well, I was just gonna say real quick, if you would have told me like a year ago, no, more than that, maybe like a year and a half ago, that uh Geiger would totally give up on Ballers and you would pick it up late and finish it, I would have said that's insane. Geiger's all about Ballers. Now his justification on the direction they took makes total sense, but this is like such a surprise to me that you're now the Ballers guy on the pod.
Yeah, and that's because I'm balling, yo.
Damn right.
I didn't go that far with
All
it.
right. This was they righted the ship a little bit on this one from the last season when Geiger stopped watching it. Was it the best season? No, not even fucking close. But it was good. Um, Jeff, you'll like this. How they framed the entire series is The Rock was like narrating pieces of the show or pieces of each episode, and at the end, spoiler, you find out that he was filming like a documentary interview.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like how it was framed, how they like get you from where they left off in season 4 to the end is really it was very well done, very well written. I think they realized they went a little crazy with the extreme sports stuff, and they got back to what they were good at, and that was football and money and just fucking kids being kids. They did have
So
actually a really serious part in it, which again they did absolutely fantastic in how they did it.
so you binged it, right? We've had this discussion before.
Yeah, so Ballers is not a show that I can watch week to week. It's only 30 minutes, and so the entire season is like watching a movie. And I think each season is a pretty good movie. We could
So
forget the second season though, or excuse me, the fourth season, and we could just skip it. It never happened. Just ignore it.
Well, that's what I was wondering, Geiger. When you were getting pissed off, were you watching it week to week?
Nah, no. I never watch Ballers week to week. The only thing on HBO I watch week to week was Game of Thrones.
And True Detective, right?
Yeah, the newest one, yeah.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say if the extreme sports angle, if you're doing it week to week, you might be like, dude, I'm not gonna fucking stick around and hope
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
I think I watched 2 episodes in a row, and I'm just really not into this because the coolest part of Ballers was actually seeing kind of the real athletes in it. It was kind of like Entourage.
It's called Ballers, and then you do a sport with no ball. Like I mean, maybe that's looking at it too literally, but like
It's so deep. I didn't even think about it that way.
the reason people like it just seems like a bait and switch. Like it's a football show, watch it. Like, oh, okay.
The
Not
references are sick, bro. Everyone knows it.
everyone knows you have the sickest references. God damn, what a deep cut. We need to do something about this is the end. That movie's so fucking underrated. I'm sorry, Boehner, continue.
You're fine. So Ballers season 5. I enjoyed it. You should. I recommend the entire series. Next
I'm sorry,
thing,
real quick, one question as someone who is peripherally intrigued on Ballers. Is season 5 played as the last season? Will there be another one?
there's not going to be another one. The show did not get picked up for a sixth season, to my knowledge.
Does it
Which,
end in a satisfactory fashion for you?
yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and the wife wanted to watch just kind of a romantic comedy, so we popped in Isn't This Romantic? You guys seen this?
Who's in this? I think I might have
This
seen
is
this.
Rebel Wilson and
Oh,
Adam Devine.
no.
Yes. So,
No.
yeah. The
Wait,
entire
Adam,
time.
is this the Luke Hemsworth one?
Yes.
Where,
No,
like, it's like
Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
So it like spoofs rom-coms?
Yes. Guys, it's a really, really tough concept to swallow. Like, just this is so stupid. It's not going to be good. But and I can't stand Adam Devine. I think he's terrible.
But you can stand Rebel Wilson. Is that what we're saying here?
No, I can't stand her either. She's fine in small doses. When she's the lead in a movie, it's awful.
Was she in Bridesmaids?
No, that was Melissa McCarthy.
That was Melissa McCarthy.
Picture
Pretty much
British Melissa McCarthy. That's Rebel Wilson.
I know who Rebel Wilson
that-
is. I just know what she is in that I would know.
Women are funny, Geiger. Just okay.
Get over yourself.
Maybe.
with all that being said, this movie was actually funny. Like, I found myself laughing at how stupid it was.
Okay. This is the key point. Were you laughing with it or at it?
Definitely at it.
Okay, then I might be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because if I laugh at like their jokes, I'll kill myself. But
You
if I'm
gotta be-
laughing at like why are we watching this, then I'll enjoy myself.
Yeah. The entire time I was like, we're going to have to turn this off because it's so bad. And I just kept finding myself going, well, 5 more minutes. Because it's that ridiculous. You're like, why would somebody make this movie?
But it is like the scary movies, right?
It's kinda. Like, no, actually it's not. Not at all. Like, she knows she's trapped in a rom-com.
Okay, I don't know. The trailer was like I couldn't get through the trailer.
You gotta be 4 to 7
It's
beers
never
deep.
good.
It's not. I've had that happen several times. Like if I can't watch a 2.5 minute like highlight reel of this, why would I want to actually sit down for it? But I don't know. If Banner says he was laughing at it, then I might maybe.
Definitely at it.
How much Luke Hemsworth do we get?
You get quite a bit.
How many Hemsworth brothers are there?
3.
3.
Okay.
Luke is the one that like was married to Miley Cyrus. He couldn't even fucking keep that
No,
together.
Liam was the one that was married to.
Oh,
Miley
that's
Cyrus.
what. Why do I keep calling him Luke? That's who I meant, Liam. Luke is on Westworld.
Yeah, well, Luke's on West.
I thought his name was Ashley.
Ashley Hemsworth.
Oh,
fuck is
no. Ashley is his name in Westworld.
Oh,
My bad.
Wow. I said, did we just create a new Hemsworth? They would have a male named Ashley.
Ashley Schaefer BMW. Like on whatever that's fucking good. Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down. Feel down on my plums.
All right. Watched Watchmen. 2 episodes of the 3. The new one just came out the other day, and I haven't
How's
gotten
that?
to it yet.
I'm intrigued.
It's very interesting.
It's really political, right?
It's pretty political. Basically, it is present day if the Tulsa race riots, a different result happened.
Okay.
And
my boy Jeremy Irons is in it, right?
yes, so far he's not in it very much, but we know from like the season highlights, like coming up on Watchmen, I know we're going to get more of him, but right now he's a very mysterious person. It's kind of hard to follow. You really got to pay attention to it. But so
Have
far
Rorschach in it.
I like it.
Yeah, Rorschach's got to be in it, right?
Yes, I believe he is in it.
What about the blue guy with the huge penis?
They talk about him, but he's not.
It's an
he's
average
not in it
sized
yet.
dick.
Well,
Yeah.
call me when he's in it. And I'm in.
All right, I'll let you know.
Geiger, you don't just jump in 4 episodes deep Doesn't make sense. Well, there's Dick now, so here I am.
Yeah.
I watched half of Robin Hood, the new one that came out in 2018 with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah, no, it's not very good. It's weird. The costumes are weird. I feel like they're wearing like a modern day like polo, and then they're like, "Oh, here, put this like potato sack in your arm," and it looks old.
You know, the one thing I noticed 10 minutes in is at the very beginning of the movie, there's a narrator just kind of setting the story, but you never get introduced to the narrator. So you don't know, or is he telling it right now? Is he telling it later? Who the fuck is he? How does he know the story? You never.
Yeah.
It's just some guy with a voice. It's really bad.
It's yeah, and the costumes just like I couldn't get over it. Like it literally just looked like Joel Edgerton like came in off the street and they're like, "All right, cool, go ahead and be Robin Hood." You're like, "But this is like a Nike shirt." That's fine.
Well, I think it's Fast Five.
As long as it's dry fit, it's gonna be hot out tomorrow.
I was gonna say, I think in Fast Five, The Rock definitely has an Under Armour shirt on. Well, he's like, he showed up. He's like, I just got back from the gym and I don't have time to change, so this is what I'm gonna wear in the scene. Okay.
That's the one where they're in Brazil, right?
Brazil.
Yeah, he has an Under Armour shirt on there. It's my size too.
It doesn't feel like I'm under arrest. Oh, give it a minute. It'll sink in.
And then I watched like 2/3 of Avatar because it was on FX, and so I watched it. Sue me.
So you spent 4 hours watching Avatar.
Probably like 2:15 maybe. Yeah.
Can I? I don't know, man. To me, I just don't fucking get it with Avatar. But it's fine. But like, that's it. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's for some people and it's not for other people.
That should be on the DVD, whatever, like, the quotes on the DVD. It's like, Siskel and Ebert says it's fine.
Jeff Hornacek says it will do. Why? This is the best quotes? So
I don't know.
When you rewatch Avatar, is there anything in it that you're like, aside from the visuals, which I know were like groundbreaking at the time, is there anything in it you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool, like storytelling wise, acting wise, world building wise, maybe world building wise?
Yeah, world building wise, it is because at the end they bring all these different avatars from like basically all over the world, or like different states, I guess, coming in. It's different tribes. So I would be very interested in learning about some of those other tribes, which we may be getting. Rumor is we're getting that in the second Avatar that's coming out, I think in 2020, 2021.
They keep pushing it back.
Yeah, they keep pushing it back. But I would be interested in that. But just the whole, how all the trees speak to each other and all of that, I just think was, I mean, yes, you're right. It is Pocahontas basically, but it's, that's a new aspect, a new storyline that was very interesting and I liked.
Yeah. Well, Guy Girls is interested because Michelle Rodriguez is in it. Great actress.
Yep.
She's awesome. She can beat up like any man, too.
That's weird. She never talks about that.
Yeah.
Remember when she dated Zac Efron for like 11 minutes?
Really?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Look it up. It's on the internet, so you know it's real. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. I watched only two things this past week. One I already talked about, the 2018 Halloween. Now, you guys saw this right when it came out, right? Was it you two?
Yep. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Me and
you did a review on it. And
yeah.
I don't know if you remember, I really, really liked it.
It was great.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Like, as far as an interesting story to tell, like 50 years after the events of the first Halloween, I thought they modernized it. It was all took place in one night like it needs to. It had the perfect amount of kills. Michael Myers was ominous, creepy. Like, you got a little bit more into his psyche, but not too much. I don't know. It had all the elements I wanted.
And it was Michael Myers. It was the same actor that played him in 78, which is really fucking cool.
Which is insane and so fucking awesome. Yeah. And Laurie Strode basically being like paranoid from that night. That was the one part that was a little bit overplayed to me, but it, like, the whole rest of the movie, like, framing, narrative, suspense, bringing back the original score. I don't know. All of it I thought was really fucking cool. And introducing the element of podcasters trying to interview Michael
Yeah.
Myers to me felt so in line with the times and like real, like we would see this shit now, that I just dug that. And he just had some brutal fucking kills.
It was a great movie, man. Really, really well done. I hate that I think they're teasing the daughter to like turn, which they basically did. In
Yeah, I don't get
Halloween
that last
4,
shot.
5, and 6. But the only thing I had a problem with is that they left a lot of the movies out of the canon that we talked about. But just because I think it would make more sense of the story if Laurie was so scarred because Michael just kept coming after her. In this story, he's only came after her once because Halloween 2 didn't happen, where he came after the night after in the
Or the same
hospital.
night, right?
So
I mean,
yeah, it was the same night, yeah, but it past midnight or whatever. But I thought it would make more sense if he would have came after, you know, Halloween, that night in the hospital, and then maybe even H2O. You know, but it only came after her once. But it's still a great movie, very well done.
I'm confused because you're referencing movies that, as far as I was concerned, didn't even exist in the canon.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that, right?
Well, H2O is one of my favorite Halloween movies, so
I know. I actually want to go back and watch it. It sounds.
there's a lot of really
Hey,
cool
you
stuff.
should watch
like,
it. You should watch it in December.
Yeah.
You're still way. What's worse, December or June for a Halloween movie? Probably December, right?
It's got to be
Yeah.
December.
At least June, you can maybe get the DVD out by Halloween.
Yeah, December. I don't know. I have an argument I want to start, but I won't. All right, another movie I watched. I think I don't know if Geiger will like it, but I think Banner will. Booksmart.
I hear good things.
So Jonah Hill's half sister is in it, and it is a female Superbad in almost every way. Like
Is that Jonah Mound?
You just had to.
Let's edit it out.
God damn it! Do we even keep going with the episode at this point?
Just hit the exit
Or
music.
do we just? Thank you guys. Jonah Mound. That's what we close with. I mean, I don't even know what to say now. You fucked this.
What? It's half a hill.
It was good. So it's basically super
We
bad.
get what it is.
Super bad, but without McLovin. Which I know you're like, oh well, that's like a key component. So
Yeah.
it focuses more on like their friendship and it doesn't have the ancillary characters. So it's not as funny. It's a little more dramatic, but same thing. Like takes place in one night. Like they're about to graduate high school. They want to go to this party. They're trying to get to the party the whole time. Now Jason Sudeikis pops up in it a few times. He plays. Slight spoilers for Booksmart. Skip forward 30 seconds if you don't want that spoiled. But he's their high school principal. But then he also happens to be the Uber driver they call at one point.
That's
And
fucking
he's like, fuck. Like, this is like my biggest fear is like picking up a student. And then he starts talking about like all his like fucking small business ideas while they're in the car. And it's just like, they're like, Mr. Thompson. He goes, whoa, Mr. Thompson is my dad. Call me Jason. They're like, you're our fucking principal. Jason Sudeikis is great in it. And obviously his wife, Olivia Wilde, wrote and directed it. Is kind of why he...
That's awesome.
But as I say now, I think it's worth a poke. Hour 35 minutes. Now, the one catch, you have to watch it illegally. That's what I did last night. But I got an HD. Streamed perfectly. I don't know.
That was fun.
I think it's worth checking out. You'll know 20 minutes in if it's for you or not.
Brah.
Okay. As Banner is chomping at the bit, that brings us to the last part of our show. Banner, just continue. Get it over with. And that is our question and answer segment titled, Do You Even Lift Bruh? Where we dig up a question from the internet and we talk about it on our show. And tonight's question comes to us from Carter Anderson at Carter Reviews with a Z. So check this guy out. It's Carter's Reviews with a Z, CartersReviewz. And he asks, with the recent news of James Dean being quote unquote reborn with CGI for a new war film, do you think the idea will be successful, and which other actor or actresses who've passed away would you like to see quote unquote reborn on screen? Geiger, I immediately thought of you when I saw this. You're a movie purist. You're a James Dean fan. In fact, I think it was your idea to put him in the Broforce Squad Hall of Fame for Rebel Without a Cause. So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, we saw it probably the only time I can remember with someone that's actually dead, not like de-aging, was in Rogue One with I can't remember the actor's name who plays General Tarkin. What's that? Peter Mayhew? Is that his name?
Probably.
So, how do you feel about this? I think it's a slippery slope, but also it could be cool. I don't know.
I think I was going to just destroy this, but since you brought up Rogue One, it made me kind of pivot. If it goes in line with the story, not forcing it to go in line with the story that you've like recreated or thrown shit out of canon or whatever, but if it goes in line with the story like Rogue One, I think it's really, really fucking cool. And if it's not a main role, Tarkin was only in, I think, maybe 2 or 3 scenes, so that was badass. But doing this is a really dangerous thing, man, because you're taking roles away from actors that need it. I mean, these actors that are busboys and waitresses in Hollywood need fucking gigs, and then that's how they get big. You know,
imagine losing a job to a guy who's been dead for 40 years.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's not really them acting. I mean, watching Rebel Without a Cause, that is James Dean acting. That's what made him fucking go global. This is just basically a computer animated, and you're just having him like say the lines and stuff. Now, if it goes with the role, like I would say, if they did another Star Wars movie and they wanted like Carrie Fisher in there, and they didn't want, you know, there was more to do with her character, maybe that makes sense. But just having a war movie and just having James Dean in it, just because like, oh, it'd be cool to have James Dean in it, I think that's a slippery slope to do. I'd rather see new, fresh actors. I mean, because what if, you know, we never got Efron? What if we never got Tom Holland and some of these new actors that we're getting now that could be the next Leo DiCaprio's of tomorrow?
Well,
I want to see that.
You have these actors coming in and they say, oh, why did you want to be an actor? Oh, well, I saw this person before they passed away and I love that stuff. Like, if you just keep having those same people, nobody's going to come back in, and nobody's going to be who's the next James Dean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just James Dean.
You just cast James Dean CGI all the time.
Yeah, and to that point, maybe Carter, if you can tweet at us at Broforce Squad, let us know what the deal, because I don't know this movie. Like, if this is an original movie, then this makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, why would you cast James Dean? Just put a fucking other actor in it. It's gimmicky and it's like just distracting. If it's a sequel to something like Rogue One, where you're like, all right, Peter Mayhew, who played General Tarkin, regretfully passed away. His estate said we can reprise that character that he played in this movie for 2-3 brief scenes. That makes total sense. Like, there's no way around it, because it would be weird to have the Death Star being built and Tarkin is nowhere there, right? Yeah. Like, so that's why they did it. But if you're just putting a CGI quote unquote James Dean in some war movie that has no connection to anything he's ever done, like, I don't understand it. Why are we doing this? Like where's
Tarkin? He's in his honeymoon in Acapulco. That's this week.
He said he was going to wait. Star. They said they were waiting until the end of they know summer is the busiest time for world.
He's available by email though.
He checks it once a day, dude.
Can you see Tarkin in like old school swim trunks with coconut rum drink in his hand,
like wearing a Hawaiian shirt and like a Cuban.
Yeah, if I was at work right now, I'd be working on the Death Star.
Honey, it appears we found Gin Urso. So, pina coladas. It's like, what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the premise of this movie is, but I don't fucking get how they, like, why would this even be something? I love
James Dean, and I like to see Elvis and stuff, but just, no, dude. It's just a dangerous slope you're going to go down.
So, Banner, I'll be quick, and then I'll toss it to you if you have anything else to add. But I don't like this idea, but I will say this. I just miss Paul Walker. I don't know. And Fast and Furious needs him. Now, putting him in that CGI would be weird, but like that franchise has, and it's not even close. It has lost all of its heart since he passed away. And it's like hard to watch. It's a shell of itself. And I don't know how involved he was at all creatively, maybe none at all, but I feel like if he were still alive, like it would not be going in this direction. I just feel like now it's all Vin Diesel's decisions, which is never good.
Never a good thing.
That's just the one thing I thought of when I saw this.
Here's the problem with this, them bringing James Dean. It's not James Dean, it's somebody else, right? because it's got to be
Yeah,
either
that's-
animated or mocap, and then somebody else is
do
voicing
mocap
them.
with the dots, I'm sure, on his face, right?
I would assume, but that we're not getting them back. So basically, what we need to do is we need to resurrect somebody, right? Somebody that we just said, "Hey, you didn't die, and we still have you here." Is that what we're trying to figure out here?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they. I know for Rogue One they had a guy with like prosthetics and makeup to look as close as he could, and then he still had the dots. I can't imagine the technology is just totally to the point now where they can like CGI in a whole person with live actors, but I could be wrong.
But it's not that. What I'm getting at is it's not the original actors acting. So it's just somebody else acting.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so like someone else should still be credited with the performance, is what you're saying, like an Andy Serkis type.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, somebody that I think that we should have had more time with was like Chris Farley and John Candy.
Oh,
We don't have good comedians like that. They can do what they did anymore. Everybody's still trying to do that.
yeah, and I think a comedic performance would be even more sacrilegious to try and replicate with this technology.
Yeah.
Jesus, now I'm upset. Just thinking about a CGI Chris Farley and like a Tommy Boy 2 makes me want to fucking throw up.
It's fucking leg day, man. I don't like this.
All we need is David Spade to have like one fucking alimony payment be late, and this thing's gonna happen.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Sandler hasn't done it either. He's like, hey, let's go to some awesome ocean site because I want to do a movie with my friends.
And Drew Barrymore will be there too, right? People still care about her? No, dude, what the fuck? No one. Oh, well, we're friends. So her. Yeah, I know you've done 7 movies together. One of them was good. Please stop. Okay, but remember Wedding Singer though. All right. All right, you guys have anything else before we leave the people with our 93rd episode? Geiger.
If Charlie's Angels reboot was all guys, would people just be rioting in the streets right now? Because girls have taken over like Ghostbusters and all that other stuff. So like, what if Charlie's Angels was Efron, Tom Holland, and Ryan Reynolds?
I'd watch the fuck out of that.
But would people be like, would women just hate it? They're like, that's our thing. I'm like, but you guys had Ghostbusters, Ocean's 8. Like, I mean, we could name like a bunch of stuff that they did. I just want.
There's a Between Two Ferns where Zach Galifianakis. Oh, he's talking to Awkwafina about Ocean's 8, and he goes, "You know what I'd like to see for Ocean's 8? An all-male reboot." And she goes,
"Yeah,
there was one. It's called Ocean's 11." He goes, "Well, that doesn't sound like it'd be entertaining or have great acting." And she's like, "Okay, fuck you." Geiger, before I mean, I know the answer to this question, but I actually won preview screening tickets to Charlie's Angels next week if you want to go.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Cool. I'll meet you. You should have been like, I'll meet you there. All right, Banner, what's your advice for the people?
Everybody, please remember, pull over for emergency vehicles.
Yeah, fucking. While you're listening to this, just pull over preemptively. Maybe one will be coming. 4, our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger, and the mad scientist, Brian Banner. I am the mayor, Jeff Hornacek, and we are the Bro Force Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Please follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. Read all of our reviews and see what we're watching on Letterboxd. Type in Bro Force Squad, 3 words. Take those same 3 words and put them on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and subscribe to us there, and check out all of our content on our website, broforcesquad.com. Till next time, we will see you at the movies. Matt, you want me to just order the popcorn? You'll meet me in line?
Yeah, I'll meet you in line. By the way, somewhere Bob Barker is with a long-ass skinny microphone. Be like, that Banner kid has some talent.
I don't know what it is about him. He's got the moxie, the it.
Imagine Banner with no shirt on hosting The Price is Right.
God, that'd be awesome.
Still has the time.
Ladies would love it.